All right, thank you for staying with us. The task ahead of the 10th National Assembly is to make laws and policies that will contribute to the growth and development of Nigeria. With Senator Godswill Akpabio and Barau Jibrin being the presiding officers of the Senate, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas and Benjamin Kalu presiding over the House of Reps chambers, they have promised to rally round and support the programs of the current administration and eliminate policies affecting the progress and development of the country. But joining us in the studio is a former House of Reps aspirant for Asa Ilorin West Federal Constituency, Tunji Abdulhamid. Good morning. Good to have you on the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, yes, the 10th Assembly is up and Nigerians are waiting for what it is their agenda will be. And I'm wondering what you feel should be key issues this 10th Assembly should focus on.
I think from your introduction, you've set the agenda already. The Constitution has set it for them. Section 4 is there. The only agenda is to make a law for the peace, order, and good government of Nigeria. In other words, whatever they are going to be doing must be to ensure peace, must be to ensure good government, must be to ensure security, must be to ensure that welfare of the people is paramount. In other words, Section 14 is there. It sets it. The business of the government is to provide security and welfare. So as a member of National Assembly, your role, notwithstanding that we know them as a primary responsibility is to make law. Yes, they have major responsibility, 3 major responsibilities. They have the power to make law, they have the right to represent us, they are our representative, and they also have what we call oversight function. In other words, check and balances and the separation of power in that regard. So as a National Assembly, for us to say, look, we are no longer in electioneering period. We are no longer campaigning. So I don't want them to see themselves as you are from APC and from PDP. As member of National Assembly, you should be working for Nigeria. So nothing should be done to say, look, we are trying to be divided in terms of political or ethnic lines. What should be the agenda is what will progress the country, what will take the country forward, how do we improve our security. How do we improve our education? How do we improve our health care? How do they get better welfare? Those are the issues they should be concerned themselves more with. So in other words, in terms of playing politics, I think it should be gone by now. They should stop that politics. They should face governance. And as National Assembly, sometimes their role is very difficult. And that's why most times some people see them as something that those who want to enforce or wants to play with the role the way it should be played, they see them as clock on the progress of the. In other words, the National Assembly is in place to check and ensure accountability from the executive and the judiciary. In other words, they need to create a check and balances. In other words, accountability, transparency. They need to do that. If you want to do that as a member of National Assembly, most times Nigerians see you as obstacle, because sometimes you can see the way and manner loans were approved in the last dispensation without a contract loan will come in a Chinese language and which you cannot even understand, and then you approve it. It shows that you are not doing things that will help. So all those things should be avoided. They should not be. I'm not saying they should be rubber stamp. I'm not saying they should be too hard on the executive or judiciary. They should create a balance. In other words, look at what is before them. See whether or not it's in the interest of the country or it's not in the interest of the country. They should not put their own personal interest in front. The interest of the nation should be paramount, and that's what government is all about. Once you are in government, you are there to serve the people. You are there to ensure that people's, more so they are representing people, and therefore their interest should be, they are the 200 million Nigeria. Whatever they say there is what whether we send them or not, they are speaking on our behalf, and they are speaking for us. So they should be speaking for us to ensure that, look, welfare and other government, other paraphernalia of life are given to us. In other words, standard of living must be high, security must be there. They should not just be approving anything without any proper consideration. And I'm not saying they should just say because you are in a APC, I'm in PDP, we are going to block you. No, that's what I'm saying. Look at Nigerians' interests. What will benefit Nigeria should be the paramount agenda in their mind.
On the overview, Mr. Abdul Hamid, what do you make of the intrigues that we see from the National Assembly? For example, now the Senate President, his deputy, as well as his counterparts in the House of Representatives have emerged, but ahead of their reconvening tomorrow, there is still more key positions that will be filled, and there's been so much politicking. You mentioned earlier about the key roles of the legislature, but then we see such an involvement of political parties. How would you measure the impact now, the impact of the roles of political parties in guiding the affairs of the legislature from what we've seen in this assembly so far?
I think one of our problems is that we often put politics, we don't, throughout our, we have 4 years, they have 4 years tenure.
Yeah.
Throughout the tenure, they don't take away the politics of it. They still believe they are still politicking. And that's why we see APC, PDP, or whatever. Once you are at the National Assembly, there should not be anything like APC, PDP, or whatever. It should be national interest. But unfortunately, most of the people there don't even know their role as member of National Assembly. Most of them don't even know that they are representing us and they are to protect and fight for us. Some of them see it as, look, whatever they believe in. I'm not saying they should go against party, or I'm not saying they should not follow party's interests, but party's interests should not override national interests. But in this country, most times what we see is that our party says, even if you disagree with it, you won't raise your voice. You just say, since our party is saying this is all we're looking for, whether it's good for Nigeria or it's not good for Nigeria, you go with it. So I'm not, when a party is interested in a particular line, and you believe that interest will not help the country, you have the responsibility of speaking out. You are representing us. So that is and most times they fight over this appointment or the leadership of the National Assembly, not just because of personal interest. Some of them is for provide purposes. Some of them is for personal benefits. And some of them, so if you have equal distribution of things in the country, nobody will be fighting for, I want a juicy appointment, I want this and that, I want this and that. But because they are looking for juicy appointment, not because they want to better the life of the people at home, but because they want to also upgrade themselves in terms of profile and other aspects of it. So the priority should be about national interest. The priority should not be about party's interest. Party's interest should not be above national interest, no matter what. And I'm not saying they should go against their party or they should be working contrary to the interest of the party. The party's interest is also in line with national interest. So the party interest must not be above national interest. So if the party interest is not above national interest, there's no way the interest of those who are in the National Assembly should go contrary to that. They should see them, once they see themselves as, look, we are representing people, and we're here to ensure that our people enjoy the benefit of the dividends of the democracy, then they will work well. But they should stay, their personal interest should be taken to the background and not in the forefront.
Now, there are those who are saying that because there's been some level of anticipation with regards to the ministerial list and all of it, and we know the role the National Assembly plays, especially at grilling and screening them. And then there are those who are saying it's high time we begin to look at changing that, especially because names do not come with portfolios, and so these persons are not grilled as they should have. What would you say to this aspect that the National Assembly can do at addressing that?
Yeah, I think as a matter of law, it is not compulsory that the name comes with what's it called? Portfolio. So, but for purpose of administrative purpose and confidences, and for you to be able to say, look, this is a man, not even only for the National Assembly, Nigerians should also screen them. So people will be able to say, look, this man being positioned for this, being nominated for this particular position is qualified, this and that. Or if you have any reason why it should not be, people should be allowed to also bring a contribution in that regard. So I think it's unfortunate that, look, the way our constitution is structured, most of these people, each state will have at least one minister. And this minister, the president cannot know everybody in the state. He cannot say, it is people that will nominate for him. probably those leadership of the party in those states. Where they have governor, it will be the governor. Where they don't have governor, it will be the leader of the party in that state. They will be the one to come together and say, we are recommending so person. So that's why it's unfortunate. So because and most time what we'll do is we use it as a political what's it called, compensation for some loyalists. They don't look at. I'm not saying that's not to say that we don't have people who are into politics are not competent. Because I'm one of those who don't believe in the issue of this technocrat of the issue. Most people talk about don't appoint politicians, appoint technocrats. Who are technocrats? Mm-hmm. Are those in politics not technocrats? A lawyer in politics is not a technocrat. An engineer in politics is not a technocrat. Just because somebody is not involved in politics, is sitting somewhere, enjoying himself, people will go from one community to another to campaign and do all these things. They win election, they will just say, okay, it's a technocrat. Come. Those engineers who are following them up and down, those lawyers, those whatever, are they also not good in their own area? Are they not technocrats? So what we need is people of integrity, people who have national interest at heart, not whether you are technocrat or you are a politician. A politician is not also bad. They are not bad in that regard.
So should the Constitution be amended rather by this assembly to addressing this matter?
Yeah, you know, it was proposed last time and it was thrown out. That the name must come with what's it called?
Portfolios.
It was suggested, but it was thrown out. I don't know the reason behind it. But like I said, even if the name is put across to it, person that will come, the kind of drilling they will do at the National Assembly will not expose whoever that is not competent. There's no way. How many minutes will they question? How many hours? So he may not be able to do the questioning at the National Assembly during the screening may not be enough to determine whether or not is and even as a lawyer, for instance, if you bring a lawyer and you say you want to screen him and you ask him law question, you don't expect him to have all the law in his head. He may not be able to understand certain things when you say, but like Lord Dennis says, he said, God forbid that a lawyer knows all the law. But God forbid that lawyer does not know where to find the law. So at that time when you ask him that question, he may not know. But if he's outside his office, he may be able to get it. So what I'm trying to say is that interview sometimes or screening sometimes may not determine whether or not you are competent or you are not competent. Because what you are asking, you don't necessarily to know everything. It's not God.
It's under pressure.
Yes. So that's what I'm trying to say. But if you are intelligent, when they ask you a question, you'll be able to see. So if you are looking for intelligent people who are intelligent, you'll see them when you are screening. You'll see people. Those who don't know anything, they may be intelligent in asking questions, and then they will get it away with it. So the answering the question during screening may not be the yardstick that will expose or that will show that this man is competent or this man is not competent. What we need is that those who are recommending should look at national interest in making that recommendation and know the antecedents of that person. Know that this man is capable. It's not only we're not lacking people who are competent in this country.
Absolutely not.
We are not lacking. What we are lacking is sincerity and the desire to serve the country. That's what we're lacking. If you have that interest, that look, my desire is to serve this nation. My desire is to do this. It's not about to acquire money or to acquire more names into myself as a former senator, former this and that, former whatever. They will get it right. What we are lacking is leadership in a way. If we have a leader that also want to check his people, supervise them very well. Those ministers you say they did not perform. When I say yesterday, I'm not talking about the yesterday of yesterday. Those who have in the past, those who will say they didn't do well. If they work under a different government, you can see them. You can see them. They may perform differently. So if the person in charge is also determining the kind of delivery those under him will bring out.
All right, and we've been talking about budget, accountability, transparency. This is a narrative that has more or less been inherited in into this new assembly in terms of the budget of the National Assembly. Where is the money going? What is the money used for? How much is the money indeed that circulates in the National Assembly for lawmakers and all that? What do you want to see moving forward? This is an arm of government that you also, aspired, to enter. But what changes are you hoping to see moving forward?
That last aspect of it is what we not my position. That it may be look somehow just because I aspire to be part of them. Or that's why I'm saying that. No, not really. You see, we are often sometimes most times we emphasize more on the cost of National Assembly's budget spending and whatever. As far as I'm concerned, we are missing our priority in that regard. That's not to say that I approve that humongous allowances and the salary they are taking. I'm not saying so. But what I'm saying is that, look, if we have, say, for example, we have 17 trillion budget, and National Assembly is taking 120 billion, and you are saying that they are the problem. How is it the problem? Like I said, that's not to say their too is not humongous, but we should look at more at the executives, the ministers, the SAs, the this and that. You know, in the ministry where you have a minister, that minister will have SA. That SA will have SASSA. Those things go like that. So the money is moving there, but we're not looking at that area. We are just looking at National Assembly, 120 billion annual budget out of social trillion.
We can start from there.
But we can start from all of them. They are all together in the government. So when we emphasize more only on National Assembly, we are missing the point. The 120 billion out of 17 trillion, for instance, is for me, it should not be the reason why we are where we are today. I'm not saying, like I said, because most times we hear that, look, they don't do their oversight function very well. And we hear most times whenever they want to do their oversight function, that is in quote, allegedly, that what they are trying to do is to say, give us our own. And they also collect their own shares of it. So, and that's one of the, another agenda that will be setting for them. They should not allow their personal interests, like I said earlier on, to override their. So whenever you are doing your oversight function, do it in the interest of the nation. Don't do it just because you want to collect money. Because we have seen so many oversight functions performed by them. We have seen so many people called to question. At the end of the day, you won't hear anything from their investigation or from their report or whatever. You won't hear anything. You remember the mic situation.
Yeah.
What is it? Do we hear anything about it again today? So many of them like that. You will call people, come and give a account of this and that, and the other day you won't hear anything. So we should do away from those parts. Whenever they do any investigation or they call anybody to question, let's know the outcome of those investigations. Let's see what we have unraveled, and let Nigerians know accountability and transparency is key in this our society. And that's what we are lacking as well. We are lacking accountability, we are lacking transparency, and we are lacking most time political will to deal with issues. And sometimes it's laughable for people to say only few people are the problem. They are the one causing this problem, and so therefore government has no choice but to do away with this particular thing. No, you are saying I don't have capacity to deal with people who are causing problem. That's the meaning as far as I'm concerned. So you can't just say because people are not doing the right thing, then the entire nation must suffer for it. No, that's not the way to go. So the National Assembly should sit upright. They are the 200 million Nigerians, whether you like it or not, whether you vote for them or you don't vote for them. They are representing you. And whatever they say is because most times they don't even consult us.
Of course.
Because when they were voting at the National Assembly, I saw my House of Rep, we said, on behalf of the people of Ilorin West and Asa, I have the mandate to I don't know where that consultation was made. I don't know where that mandate was given to him to go and vote for a particular person. So but he's representing me. So whatever he says is on my behalf. But so they should consult their people. That's another agenda. In taking any decision, they should go to they should not stay in Abuja and then be doing their business there. Their constituency should be their priority. They should consult people and not consult only political associates or leadership of the party in your state and say we have consulted. No, consultation is about the masses.
Having town hall.
Yes, when you have that's when you get their own opinion and then you get it right. But if you now go to National Assembly where you was not consulted and you are not making that would be false. That would be false. So the agenda is that look, they must be at the grassroots. Sit with their people, find out what is the problem with the people, find out their position on issues. Then, based on that, you take position at the chambers.
Now, we recall that some constitutional amendments were made in the last dispensation, and one that some Nigerians looked forward to was the aspect of state policing. That didn't happen, although the current Inspector General of Police has said that he's going to look into community policing. But is this the right time to look into the aspect of state policing? Yes, the president has said that he has some reforms that he wants to bring into the area of security. But talking about amending the constitution now, is this the right time?
As for me, I think there's no time that's not right in terms of this community policing and security that has to do with security in a way. Thankfully, the current president is one of those who has been clamoring for state police. So the opportunity for us to be able to, because when you have a bill and the president is not interested in that bill, there is no way, even if it's passed by the National Assembly, it may not be signed into law. So interestingly, the current president are those people who have been saying, look, we need state policing. So it's not only about the state policing alone. We need to look at also I know there are consequential issues when you have, because our problem for now is that we have been doing the same thing the same way, and we're expecting different results. We have fewer personnel in terms of security, and we have been complaining, and more are not being brought in. Recruited. And yet, we are complaining that we don't have enough. This government of a team, most of the states, because what they have today now, I can't see them as those are not enough security to deal with issues. You have people who don't have gun, who call themselves securities. They don't have any gun. They can only walk around and then they monitor things. Those are not enough in this time that we have. We need people who will be fair by the people. So for me, I'm in support of that. Community policing is good for us, because I don't believe in a situation whereby we have one person at Abuja, then it determines everything that happens in the state. You have any emergency, you have to get permission for you to do anything. So, but you have your state police, the state governor, or the chairman local government, or whatever as the case may be, depends on the way it's structured. They will be able to give authority, because as it is today, a state governor who is not in good time with the governor cannot give authority to any governor to do anything. He will do whatever he wants to do, provided there's an authority from Abuja to that effect. If there's no authority for that effect, no matter what the governor says, he may not listen to that governor. So we have a situation whereby the governor that is called the chief security officer of the state will have the right to determine how security will be apparatus will be the operation of them in the state will be conducted. So in that regard, we'll be able to. So I am in support of that. Anything that has to do with that, it doesn't matter if it's superfluous. If you have so many security agencies, it's good for us than to have little or less of those structures. I think there's nothing bad, even if we start it now, to say, look, let's do this. Let's amend the constitution to allow for state policing. I think for me, there's nothing that is late or that's early in that regard. Yeah,
and sooner than later, all the offices will be occupied within the National Assembly, including leadership of committees and all of that. And if you look at the past assemblies, yes, they've taken on, the functions of grilling representatives, managers of key sectors of the country, summoning this and that official. But how far have they really gone? How much have they really wielded their powers? How much have they represented people, asking the right questions and getting the needed action? Because it's one thing for them to maybe denounce an action. It's another thing for us to see more action, even beyond that. As in, what more, giving Nigerians, much more than they have been dealt with over the past years.
Yes, I think I said it earlier on that I said, look, they should not only be concerned about calling people to come and answer questions, and then we won't see any outcome or we won't see any result of that, of those things. I think it's very important. But sometimes, through Nigerians, we don't assist in that regard. We always not cooperating, because sometimes we see, especially when what the National Assembly is doing is against the interests of the executive. Most times we fight behind the executive, and we see the National Assembly as a bad person. When the question is being asked, I remember when Dr. Saraki was the Senate president, when loans were being requested for, and those loans were not being backed by any proposal or any plan. He will say, no, we're not going to approve. Nigeria will say, this man is an obstacle. This man is a problem. This man is not allowing the president to move. That's area to Nigerians too should also look at issue critically, not sentiment. See whether or not whatever they are asking those people to come and do is normal. They have the power to invite people. They can even they have the power to invite the president to come and answer questions on issue they provide approve for a fund for. They can ask anybody question. They have it under section 88 and section 90 of the 89 of the Constitution. They have the power to investigate and invite people to come and answer questions. So when they do that, don't let us see them as what is their problem? Why are they asking people to come and answer questions? It is their duty. But we should also be on their neck. Say, look, you have asked this man to come and answer a question. What is the outcome of this question you have asked him to come and answer? What is it? So there must be accountability, there must be transparency, and there must be feedback to us. They don't just do it within their own calculus and say it's a family affair. And no, Nigeria is a Nigerian affair. We are all family, we are all Nigerians, and we're all part of the family. So if you are doing anything within the chambers of the National Assembly,
it affects us.
It affects us. So we must know about it. Don't tell us it's a matter for the House to deal with. No, you are representing us, and you must give us feedback in that regard.
So on the whole now, which will be the most critical aspect for you that you would want the 10th Assembly to perhaps hit the ground running with in terms of agenda setting? Yes, the oversight function, what would you want them to do differently this time? Even though the Senate President has said that they would support the President in all of his policies, but the concern has always been what they call rubber stamp assembly. How do we ensure a balance in all of that?
Yeah, you see, you can ensure a balance between the two. In as much, like I said, I don't believe that the National Assembly and the Secretary should be in competition. They are not doing competition. They should be partner in progress. Because they all have the interest of the country at heart. In other words, the goal is to ensure development of this country. So they should look critically at issue, not based on sentiment, not based on a party affiliation, not because somebody is talking and is from the PDP or the ADC or whatever. Before he even lands on his point, you already say no, because you know it's from the other side of it. And you see, we need everybody. Remember, National Assembly is not under obligation to always support whatever the executive is bringing to them. And the one that say don't support, that does not mean they should reject totally. Make recommendation. This thing you are bringing to us, why can't you do it this way? Why can't you change it this way? Not just to say we're not going to deal with it. No, you have to come together, discuss together, and ensure that things are done in a way that will ensure that development comes to the country. So I want them to collaborate more with the executives. In other words, when a bill is being, particularly when it comes to budget, what we have been having is that we have sometimes ministers or MDAs who are not cooperating with the National Assembly. And then the people in Nigeria will say, just pass it. No. How can you send me a budget and you don't come and defend it? And you expect me to pass it? No, it's not possible. So there must be cooperation between the National Assembly and the Senate. And when we say cooperation here, it's not just to say, look, just because something is coming from the president, that thing, whether it's good or not, I must approve it. You must look at issue critically before taking any decision on it. And you must carry Nigerians along because you are representing us.
All right. Tunji Abdulhamid, former House of Reps aspirant, Asa Ilorin West Federal Constituency. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.